Good morning, everyone. So my name is Leanna, and I'm the Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures, where I sew and I quilt by the seat of my PJs. And today I have chosen to make Nursery Rhymes, which is a Villa Rosa pattern. And I am using some yardage and a panel. It does call for fabric as focal fabric, accent fabric as a 1 fat quarter, binding as a 1/2 yard, and 12 assorted 2.5 inch strips. I did choose some yardage and a panel, so I'm going to show it to you. And what I did is I laid this all out on my design wall. And all the directions are behind here. They're very clear. They're very concise. There's diagrams and there's directions. All right, come on over. So I'm going to swing my camera around. And here we are. I have laid this out. What I had chosen to do, because I use yardage, I went ahead and strip pieced all my pieces. So I made one long strip with a fabric, and then I cut them down to the size that's in the pattern. And then I just built my quilt up. And right here, it just calls for regular fabric. But as you can see, I have these darling panel pieces, and I just pop them in. So my tips and tricks for this is use yardage, but you can also, I'm a scrapper. So yes, you can use your scrappy 2.5 inch jelly roll strips you may have. And you could still, you could still do those by strip piecing. So you take everything, you put everything down, and let's put together a block. So if you're using regular yardage, you wouldn't have to necessarily have to, map all this out, because I had to put it on my design wall because I have panels and I wanted my panels facing the right way. If you're using a tossed fabric and non-directional, you can just sew this up probably here and not even have to put it on the wall. But because I have this specific panel that I want to showcase, that is my tip and trick, which is also to stick it on a design wall. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up my pieces for this one. And I'm going to carefully pick this up, and then I'm going to bring it over to my sewing machine. So I'm going to swing you over, moving the camera over. I have my pieces set. And so I have my pieces and they have to go like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece these two first. Set my machine at 1/4 inch. And I am going to go ahead and sew this right up. And at this point, you can do all of them. Of course, I'm going to be extra careful because I am doing my panel pieces. And then what I will do is place this here. And I could have just, stitched this next to it, but I didn't. I could have chain pieced, but I didn't. All right. And now, because I pressed this one going towards the strips, this time I'm going to press towards my strips again, okay? So, but you know what? It would lay flatter if I didn't. So, you know what? I'm going to actually redo that, because now I'm showing you my mistake, but that's okay. I'm going to press towards the panel piece here. You know why? Because if I press towards the panel piece here, I can press towards this solid square, and everything will nest and actually lay flatter. And that's kind of like an important thing sometimes, so you don't have big bumps. That's another tip and trick. So yes, so go ahead, So I've pressed it towards the panel, and then I press this towards the square. This way, when I put these together, these two here nest right there. I could pop a pin where it nests. Look at that. And then everything will lay flat and perfect. And if you're a pinner, go for it. You can pin all the way across. I just want the pin. For me, I just pin where I really need it all to stay. Cut that thread. Now watch this. Now I will press not towards the panel, but actually towards the strips. And then this is what my back looks like. And let me show you. So you can see it is all laying flat. There's no bumps. It's nice and flat. So here we are. So we would go ahead and do this to all our panel pieces, and then we can put them through the rows and everything. This quilt, I don't think I will be putting a border on. I think it'll be just perfect. And the reason why is because if I can get it at 40, it's a baby's blanket, right? I only have to use this width of fabric on my long arm, and I don't have to piece it back. I could just grab regular yardage and use the width of fabric. So I hope everyone checks this out. Again, it's called Nursery Rhymes. It is from Trisha Lynn Maloney from Orphan Quilt Designs for Villa Rosa. And here we are. We have this wonderful cutie pie. So everyone, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. It's so important. If you could share my channel out there and get me going viral, I would absolutely love that. Everyone, see you soon. Bye.